Good evening and welcome to the final round of the CDR Season 2. We are at Interlagos, Brazil for the C1 category race, and what season it has been. The champion has already been crowned. That is Scotty, with MDG confirming his second place finish overall. And who could finish third as it stands? Well, Grimjaw Jagger, who hasn't raced for the last 5 or 6 rounds, but he's in position actually to seal that, but he's not racing tonight. So you've got Hamster Jaihu, Droftus, who's not around either, so he's out of the running. Dalji, so just looking to see that he's in, and I'm not so sure that he is so he could well be out of the running, but there's plenty of permutations in how that could be settled. So we've got a full grid, which is great to see. The Q1, Q2 and Q3, so we'll lose the slowest 5 at the end of Q1. I've got quite a number of reserves that have been called in this evening. Now Droftus is not around tonight, so his place will be taken by Stephen, and Rowan's Republic has filled in the other vacancy. And McLaren Grimjaw's not around, so Reservoir once again substitutes in for him. Williams Jaihu is missing, which means he's out of the running to finish third in the championship. Armand Plays has come in to replace him. Calvin Racing also not around for Alpine, is replaced by Sinex. Oh no, Sinex is already in as a full-time driver, so it'll be Cami substituting for him again. And Flix dropped out last minute, so he's replaced by Phelan, with Leeds Hound also being called in place of Dalji. So we've got a few cars out on the circuit already, including Scotty, who's already been crowned this season's champion. Hasn't had it all his own way this season, though. He's been consistent enough right to the very end. It's a short track is Interlagos, so no rush to get out onto the racetrack. Scotty's about to start his first lap of the session. He's hoping to not be one of those 5 drivers eliminated at the end of the first part of qualifying. So you come towards the CDR S. Smooth through turn 1 and then through the curve of Sol, where it cascades. When I say it cascades, come down the Retroposta back straight, then the left-hander of Descida de Largo. And then come towards turn 6 and 7. And we brake for Ferradura. Turn 9 is Perino. And then turn 11 here is Biga de Pato. Miguelio through there, not too bad. And Young Cow. You go up the hill, past 2 left kinks, and you go over to the line. Now let's see what Scotty's time is going to be. It's a 1 minute 8.7, so that's the time to beat. Well, Red Dog has gone even faster than that. 1 minute 8.1, nearly 6/10 quicker than the McLaren. Sinex has just started a flying lap. I think one of the Aston Martins is coming over the line. That'll be Rowan's Republic. And he goes to the top with 1 minute 8 dead. So very nice lap from him. We expect him to be in Q3 later on, providing he keeps his car out of trouble. His teammate Stephen is also on a fast lap, as well as the Alfa Romeo of Martin, who will go to next. Stephen over the line, 1 minute 8.2. It's a 1 minute 8.1 for Martin. So Stephen being displaced. MDG on an invalidated lap. Noodles on a fast lap. Sinex is coming round now. Charlie's posted a 1 minute 8.7. Likewise for Scotty. Well, Charlie nearly beaten Scotty with the lap he's posted. Sonic's the first of those into the 1 minute 7s. 1 minute 7.6 for him. Here is Noodles in the Alpha Tauri. He's missed the last few rounds. He's back in play here. 1 minute 8.4, and it's P7 for him. Phelan going down the back straight, the Retroposter. 17 dead through sector 1. Brakes for turn 8. It's a phenomenal racetrack here is Interlagos. It's a fan's favourite as well, a driver's favourite. It's a feeling. On a charge at the moment. Aims to get his first time in the session on board here. And he will go to round about the top. Third fastest for him. Rome's Republic was able to improve to a 1 minute 7.4. So the track is continuing to get faster. MTG over the line, only 13th. Slowest of all the times. 1 minute 8.8 for him. And Stephen coming out of Young Cow. There's the Alpine. That was not the best line there, of which you wanted. It's still good enough for 1 minute 7.8. And he goes fourth with that one. Jay Harnell is out on track. Who else is on a fast lap at the moment? Well, Red Dog is in the Alpha Tauri as he exits Young Cow. It's fifth fastest for him. And Rabico coming towards turn 10, or 11 I should say. Now through Young Cow he comes. And so the Red Bull making its way back up the hill. Rear wing open. The Red Bull crosses over the line and it's a 1 minute 7.4 and it goes to the top by nearly 700ths of a second. Jay Hartnell on a lap in the Alfa Romeo. So only 6 drivers are still yet to set a time at the moment, including Jay Hartnell, who are riding on board with. It's a 51.6 by Sector 2. It's got a clean run to the line. It'll probably be in the 1 minute 8 on this one. 1 minute 8.2, good enough for 8 fastest. Now Emil is being called into the Haas squad. Stephen has chosen to retire from the session. He's done that in the pits, he's not retired out on the circuit. So Basket Emil coming into Sector 2 now. It's faster than what Jay Hartnell did. And we've just got over 9 minutes to go in this Q1 session. Rear wing open on Emil's car. Crosses over the line for 1 minute 8.1, and that's good enough for 8 fastest. Here is Colin. He'll be one of those going for pole later on, should he get through to Q3. Hamster is out on circuit now and has just started the flying lap. So MDG in the drop zone at the moment. Reservoir's come back into the pits and go on to another set of tyres. And Colin goes fastest on a 1 minute 7.1. So a very good time from him there. Hamster posting a 17.0 for sector 1, which is not the fastest we've seen. Rybico has decided to retire from the session as well. So he's confident that he is safe. So no driver in the 1 minute 9s or slower than that. Those who have set times, I mean. As Hamster aims to get his first lap on the board here. Rear wing open. And Hamster posts a 1 minute 8.8 and he only goes 17th. He's lost a lot of time. Charlie goes quicker than before, out of the drop zone, ahead of Bruges, in 15th for 1 minute 8.6. See who else is on a fast lap right now. Colin will just be making his way back into the pits, I reckon. So MDG is going for another timed effort. He's on old tyres though, he's the Haas driver, so I'm not sure if he's going to go quicker through sector 1 than they did so last time around. It's nearly 3/10 up from before by sector 1, so it's a good lap so far from MDG. You know, 7/10 up by sector 2 for the Haas pilot, so that's good enough to get out of the bottom 5 here. Could even move up into the top 10. And this lap for MDG is good enough to put him 6th. And that's a very big improvement there. Phelan also going faster. Rear wing open on the Mercedes, taking the shorter run to the line. Got to be careful not to exceed track limits there. 1 minute 7.2. So he goes second with that time, does Phelan. Reservoir, one of 2 drivers yet to post a lap time. He was very quick in the races, I've seen him before, so he shouldn't be anywhere near in that region. 50.6 by sector 2. This is very, very good from the McLaren driver. Rear wing open. One minute 7.2, good enough for 3rd fastest. Very, very well done to him. Elite Hound's not on a very fast lap here, to be honest with you. Definitely not quick by any means. So we expect him to be out of qualifying. He's just too far off the pace in regards to the others. Don't really understand why he's in the C1 category. When he's... If you compare all the times of the others, and he's down at the bottom where he is, he's over 1.6 seconds, or 1.8 seconds, I should say, off the next man in front. So he's definitely needing to find an improvement, unless he was just doing some prep laps. He's got his battery mode on the wrong setting. Because had he not, he would have been going faster than he is doing now. Yeah, you can see, struggling to get the power down coming out of turn 8. Turn 11 is not particularly the greatest either. Nearly 3/10 up from before. This is still nowhere near the standard of which he needs to be going for. Elite Hounds over the line for 1 minute 10.2. 4/10s better than beforehand. So he stays. Oh, he's in the wall. Yeah, that was rather silly from Elite Hound, it has to be said. And his session is over. So he's out of qualifying. Hamster is on a fast lap, as is Bruges. So the track is picking up as we speak. Bruges over the line, 14th out of the drop zone. Hamster is coming into sector 2 now. He's nearly half a second up from before. So it's looking good for him to lead out of there, and this would put Noodles into it. Hamster over the line, 1 minute 7.7 goes 8th. Very nice effort. Now, Bruges is not on a fast lap. Noodles is, though. Now Noodles braking for Beaker de Pato. This is really him coming through sector 2 now. It's not going to be particularly fast, this one, I don't think, but he's still a 10th up from before. Noodles, who's already won a race this season at the Red Bull Ring. Struggling to get out at the bottom 5 at the moment. And I think even with this lap time he's about to produce, it may not be enough. He's out of the drop zone in 13th, so he found some time in the last sector. Scotty down in 18th place, Charlie 19th as well, and on an invalidated lap time. Now Sinix, who's running in 6th position, can he improve his lap time? 1 minute 7.6 he posted before. This one is a 1 minute 7.6, 5,000 slower than before, so no improvement. Oh, Noodles had to back off there because Bruges held him up. He may not be on a fast lap anyway, Noodles, but he won't have liked what Bruges did there, where he had to back off the throttle. Seen a few more drivers retiring from the session. That doesn't mean to say they're out of it for good, as Noodles loses time in the second sector. Cammy's on the fast lap. Charlie is as well in the Ferrari. He's in need of a good session here today. Only 19th. So Charlie coming through. 5/10 up from before. This is much more like it, but he's carried too much speed into Young Cow. And this is going to be the Ferrari pilot heading towards the line now. It's only a 1 minute 8.2, but it's good enough for 14th. He's out of the drop zone. Cammy in the Alpine. '16th at the moment. Manages to get himself out of it in 12th place. Pushes Jay Hartnell into the drop zone. So here he is, look, coming over the line in the Alfa Romeo now. 13th for him. That pushes Charlie back into the drop zone. Arman, no improvement from him, stays 18th. Scotty misses out. 19th on the grid for him. So the champion already eliminated at the end of Q1. Now Bruges needs to get a better time on the board here. Only 17th. A 10th is what he needs to find. Noodles is the one at risk. And Bruges gets out of it, which pushes Noodles into the drop zone. Charlie's out of it as well, as is Arman, Scotty, and Elite Hound. And Phelan making his way back to the pits. And so Q1 ends with Noodles, Charlie, Arman, Scotty, and Elite Hound eliminated at the end of Q1. So as we watch Arman make his way back to the pits, or may choose to just cross over the line anyway. So Colin was fastest in that session ahead of Phelan. Just over a tenth of a second separating the top 5. And Arman hitting the back of Red Dog there. That'll be controlled by the AI, so there was nothing the human player could do about that. It'd be very harsh to give a penalty, to be honest. If that was in real life, of course, that would be enough to get a penalty. And so Q1 ends. Colin fastest. It's an Irish one too as well, so it's a good night to be Irish. Newells is out though, one of those eliminated with Charlie, Armand, Scotty and Elite Hounds. The rest go through to Q2. We'll be right back in a moment. Q2 begins then. We start to see some cars leaving their garages. There's a Mercedes, there is a McLaren, there'll be an Aston Martin heading out there as well, and a Red Bull. So who will be eliminated at the end of Q2? It's very much anyone's game, if I'm honest. Can Reservoir do it? Or can Reservoir get through to Q3, I would say. There's Stephen backing off there. I think he's allowing the Red Bull to go through first. You don't want to be parking there, as that could hinder other drivers, and you could end up being disqualified by the game itself. So who's the first one over the line? Well, it's going to be Reservoir. Ooh, that was a glitch actually. I wondered why that was doing that. Here we go then. He's on a lap through the CDR S. Through the Curva de Sol, onto the Reta Reposta, and then Descida de Largo. And one of the Mercedes is just slowing down into turn 1. Now some may decide to just do prep laps first before they do go for their flyers, as Reservoir just wants to get a really decent time here. Now I think the chances of seeing anyone getting through to Q3 on the mediums is quite slim, so vitally important to get a decent lap on the first run if you are going to be doing your first run on the mediums. So Reservoir going to the top, 1 minute 8.1. I doubt that's going to be quick enough to get into Q3, if I'm honest with you. Here's Emil, as Ravico goes top on the softs on the 1 minute 8. Martin with 1 minute 8.6 on the mediums. Emil with 1 minute 8.9 on the mediums. MG third on the 1 minute 8.2. There's plenty of drivers on laps right now. Bruges is one of them in the Williams. Approaches Young Cow. 1 minute 8.8 for him. And the 7th. Sinex is on the fast lap, 16.8 in sector 1 on the mediums. That's a very good time. As Red Dog goes to the top, 1 minute 8.0. So Sinex. I don't think this is the best of laps that he's doing at the moment. Got a kick of wheel spin coming out of Young Cow. That won't help him all the way up the start-finish straight. One minute 8.6, only 7th for him. On a fast lap in the Mercedes. .6 by sector 2. So feeling over the line in the Silver Arrows. 1 minute 8.2. Good enough for 4 fastest. Hamster also on a flying lap on the mediums. What's his first sector time like? He ideally wants to be in the high 16s. And he is so. And Robico going faster than before, 1 minute 7.6 for him. So Hamster can kick of oversteer coming out of turn 9. .8 by sector 2. CDR S open for Hamster over the line, and it'll be a 1 minute 8.5. Good enough to put him 7th. So only 2 drivers so far have set a time on the soft compound. There is Colin in the Red Bull. Jay Hartnell out on circuit as well. He's also on a set of mediums. Now Colin behind Reservite. One minute 7.9 for him. First driver into the 1 minute 7s on the mediums. Jay Hartnell begins his lap now. So Alfa Romeo looking to get both cars into Q3. Martin is the one at risk. Jay Hartnell's first sector time wasn't particularly the fastest. As well as Beaker to Pato. It's probably going to be in the 51s by sector 2, if not the 52s. We'll see from Jay Hartnell's perspective. It's a 51.7 by sector 2. Over the line, Jay Hartnell posts a 1 minute 8.4, good enough to put him 8th. So those in the bottom 5 at the moment are Martin, Sinex, Bruges, Emil, and Cami. Just look to see who's on fast laps. Well, Hamster's going for another go here. He's nearly 3 tenths up from before on the mediums. So he's looking to move up the order here. He could even make it into the 1 minute, a 1 minute 8.2 here if he's done good enough here. 1 minute 8.1 goes 6th with that effort. It seems to be the track is getting quicker by the looks of things. Well, Martin's going for another timed lap. Emil in the Haas, who's 14th right now. staring down the barrel of a Q2 exit. CDR S open, Emil over the line, 1 minute 8.8. He did go fractionally faster, but not good enough to move him up the order. Cami's on another lap, this time on the soft compound. Best chance of getting through, really, to be honest with you. His teammate Sinix coming towards the line. And it's going to be a 1 minute 8.4. That puts him 9th. So he moves up the order with that one. Emil going for another time lap here on the mediums. Cami going much faster than before. Could even get into the 1 minute 7s if he keeps this one up. Trying to take the shorter route to the line is Cami. Can he get into the 1 minute 7s? Not quite. It's a 1 minute 8 dead. But he puts him 4 for now. Emil's made a mistake in sets 2, hence why his lap time has been invalidated. So he backs out of it. Here is Stephen, currently 13th on a 1 minute 8.5. He's still on the mediums as we speak. Nearly 2 cents up from before. So he's got a chance of getting out of the bottom 5. He won't do it here. Exceeding track limits. Phelan is on a fast lap. So we'll say with him. 16.8 by sector 1. This is not his fastest by any means, but he'll still keep going. He's 9th at the moment on a 1 minute 8.2. Oh, he's spun! He keeps out of the wall though. Carrying too much speed on the exit of turn 9. So he backs out of that one. Stephen going for another effort in the Aston Martin. There's 3.5 minutes to go. Is he going to have enough time to get round after this lap is done, get a set of tyres on, complete his outlap before the checkered flag? I'm not 100% sure. He may decide to just duck into the pits at the end of this lap. Will Stephen. Martin's just started another flying lap now. Stephen's completing this one, so he's committing himself. 1 minute 8.5 moves up to 12th with that effort. Now Martin on the soft compound. Just nearly 10th up by sector 1 from before. So he's definitely pushing. In sector 2, Cami has decided to retire from the session in the pits, so he's done his runs, but will he make it into Q3? Well, with Martin pushing, as he has been doing throughout the course of this lap, he was on course to displace him. Rear wing open. Martin powers his way across the line for 1 minute 7.6, and that's the fastest time of the session. So Martin is more or less through, to be quite honest with you, with that one. Bruges on a fast lap as well, currently 14th. Reservoir also deciding to retire from the session. Hopefully he'll be back for Q3 as well. Bruges on a charge here. Can he maybe dip into the 1 minute 7s? One minute 8.1, good enough for 9th fastest. Nearly 6 tenths up from before is Emil. Stevens retired from the session, as is Jay Hart, and also both of them are now out of qualifying. Emil over the line for Haas. 1 minute 8.1. Good enough to go 9th fastest with that effort. MDG also on a fast lap in the Haas. He's going much quicker than before. I'd expect him to get out of the bottom 5 with this lap here. It's a 1 minute 7.3 and he goes to the top. Very nice lap there from MDG. He is through to Q3, no problem. We'll go to Sinex next. 30 seconds to go in the session. He'll get one more attempt at this. For Sinex, if he does get to the Czechoslovakian time. So it's wide coming out of Beaker de Pato. He's only 3/10 up from before here, so as it stands, he would just make it into the top 10. So Sinex coming towards the line now. With 4 seconds to spare, he goes 10th fastest with a 1 minute 8.0. The Czechoslovak has fallen. Emil is not going to make it to the line in time. He's out. Bruges is on a fast lap, so is Phelan. So Emil is out of qualifying now. It's a decent 11th place finish at the end of qualifying. It's just a matter of whether Phelan and Bruges can find any more time on the laps that they are on. Phelan coming into sector 2, 6/10 up from before, so Sinex pretty much at risk here. He's on a fast lap at the moment, and he's going much faster, so Romans Republic's gone up to 2nd. He was 9th, but he's gone 2nd. Hamster is also out on track. Red Dog is as well. So Phelan over the line goes 3rd. He is safely through. Red Dog is next in the AlphaTauri. 1 minute 7.8. That's good enough to put him into 6th position and pushes Hamster further down. Hamster over the line goes 4th with that one. Sinex over the line doesn't improve his time. So his teammate goes through, that he doesn't. So the 5 drivers we lose at the end of Q2 are Sinex, Emil, Bruges, Jay Hartnell and Stephen. The only drivers that made it through to Q3 on the mediums were Colin and Reservai. So Q2 ends with Sinex, Emil, Bruges, Jay Hartnell and Stephen out. The top 10 go through. And we're back for Q3 in a moment's time. Here we go then for Q3. MTG making his way out of the pits. I wonder how many of them are going to do a first run, or do 2 runs in Q3, as opposed to those just doing the 1. So MDG just wants to get on with it here. There are 6 drivers out on track at the moment. And MDG running wide through turn 1 there. That won't help him at all. He may decide to back off in this lap. He's carrying on anyway. Rose Republic also starting that, as is Hamster. Martin as well. Reservoir will be doing so any second now. So MDG will not be very happy with his first sector, but let's see what he can find in sector 2. So MDG 51.2 by sector 2, which no is not going to be the fastest time of all. Rose Republic's lap time 50.8 by sector 2. So 0.4 faster than what MDG is producing at the moment. It's still going to be a 1 minute 7.8. We'll go to Rose Republic next. 1 minute 7.2, good enough to put into the top. Then we go to Hamster, who's invalidated his lap time, so we'll go to Martin next. 1 minute 7.4, which puts him P2 for now. Reservoir in the McLaren. This is not going to be the fastest time, I don't think. So 1 minute 7.4 goes third. Cammy's just started the flying lap. Phelan's not on a fast lap, to be honest with you. Colin is, though. Where will Colin end up by the end of this qualifying session? Should be in the 1 minute 70, but he may dip into the 1 minute 6s, and he does so. So Colin becomes the first driver in the 1 minute 6s. A good 3/10 clear of Roman's Republic. Hamster also on a fast lap in the Ferrari. 50.8 by sector 2. He's got a Haas in front of him now as well. That's MTG, who's just ducked into the pits. 1 minute 7.5, only 5th for him. Cammy next in the Alpine, only a 1 minute 7.9 for him. As Phelan goes for a spin at Beaker de Pato. I don't know if Colin's actually on another lap. No, he's not. I wonder if Cammy's trying to go for another timed effort here. He's low on his ERS though, so yeah, he may as well forget it. So Phelan back in the pits. So there's Red Dog out on track now. So Red Dog about to start what could be his only timed lap of the session. So into turn 1. Ooh, and Red Dog has exceeded track limits there, and he nearly went into the wall as well, so may as well back out of this lap. We'll go to MDG. He's begun his second run. Should be okay in terms of traffic. 16.6 by sector 1. Just much faster than what he did last time. And he put himself on the front row here into Lagos. It's a very decent effort here from MDG. Up through the gears. Through Magulio. Now Young Cow, he's lost a bit of time in sector 2 from what he posted before. You know, can MDG get on the front row here? Won't go to pole. Goes third, so he's just over half a tenth behind Rome's Republic, who was going quicker than before through sector 2. Now Rome's Republic in the Aston Martin coming through over the line for 1 minute 7.0, and he missed out on pole by nearly 2/10. Here's Rabico. He's got Red Dog behind him as well, who was also on a fast lap. So Rabico, can he snatch pole position away from his teammate? As he comes towards the line now, and this will be a 1 minute 7.3, so only good enough for third. Red Dog posts a 1 minute 8.0, so only ninth for him. Rome's Republic trying to find as much time as he possibly can on this one. He's 5 thousandths of a second up through sector 2, but his line through Youngsau wasn't particularly great. It's compromised his time, so he may as well back out of it. Martin has begun what could well be his last effort. He's half a second off pole. It's 16.6 through sector 1. Faster than before by that point. Through the right-handed, turn 8 that is, now 9, which is Carolino. There's a king of 10 and now 11. .400s up from before is Martin. So Martin heading towards the line now. Is this a better lap than before? Yes, it is. It's a 10th up, and he goes up to third. So it's a very nice lap from Martin. Reservoir on a fast lap, as is Red Dog, who's going quicker than before through sector 1. Reservoir is backed out of his effort. Martin going for another one. That pushes MDG down into fifth place. Three tenths up from before by sector 2 for Red Dog, so this looks good enough to see him move above Cami on the timing pages. So Red Dog coming through. 1 minute 7.7 for him, 8th fastest. Cami is on his last run now in the Alpine. 10.5 up through sector 1 alone, that's good. Hamster also up. Collins just started his last attempt. Martin in the pits and retiring from qualifying. He's not going for another effort. Rome's Republic just starting his last attempt now. Phelan also starting his last attempt in the Mercedes. So we'll go to Hamster next. It's nearly 2 tenths up from before through sector 2. This could be enough to move him in above Reservoir, possibly MDG, Rabico and Martin, but he needs to give the best sector 3 that he's ever done around this track. And he does so. 1 minute 7.1 for him. Very nice lap. We'll go to Kami, who's improved through sector 2. Displaces Red Dog, goes 7th. What about Reservoir? How is he getting on? He's invalidated his lap time, so he will not improve his position. MDG could do, though. He could move back to 3rd on the grid. Even better than that, he goes to the front row. So MDG up there brilliantly. Colin over the line to extend the margin. And so Colin is in position to take pole. Could Romans Republic get back to the front row with this lap that he's doing here? Yes, he can. And misses out on pole by a 10th of a second. Phelan in the Mercedes goes 3rd. Brilliant effort from Phelan. Very close indeed. Red Dog's time, well, I don't think he's on a fast lap at the moment. No, he's in the pits. Hamster's gone for a spin as well. So that concludes qualifying. Colin on pole position for the final race of the season, with Romans Republic line up alongside him ahead of Phelan, MDG and Hamster. Martin, Robico, Reservoir in 8th, Kami and Red Dog rounding out the top 10 for the start. That was a brilliant session, that. Can get even better in the race. So it was nearly a 10th and a half the difference between Colin and Romans Republic. So a 1 minute 6 was what's needed for Colin to be on pole here tonight. I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that one. So here's your grid order for the race, with Colin and Romans Republic line up next to each other on the front row. Phelan and MDG are 3rd and 4th on row 2. Then it's Hamster and Martin on the 3rd row. Rabico and Reservoir on row 4, followed by Kami and Red Dog running out the top 10, all within a second of each other. That was qualifying. We go on to the race. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. So we're going to go for the formation lap. The drivers given the opportunity to sort out their tyre and fuel setups, or their strategies, I should say, as we are going to go for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix at Interlagos. And now they go off on their formation lap. So look to see who is on what. But before that, we'll run down on the grid order. Colin on pole position with Romans Republic next to him. Phelan and MDG on the front, on the second row next to each other, followed by Hamza and Martin. Rabico and Reservai make up row 4, ahead of Cami and Red Dog. Cynix and Emil on the 6th row of the grid. Bruges and Jay Hartnell are next on row 7. The 8th row comprises of Stephen and Noodles, with Charlie and Armin making up the 9th row. Scotty, the champion for this season, on the back row of the grid with Elite Hound. Now, just to see who is starting on what. Colin, Reservai, Cynix, Emil, Jay Hartnell and Elite Hound are all starting on the mediums. The rest are all on softs. We are expecting a one-stop race. I wonder if Colin may decide to back off a little bit, so he's not waiting on the grid for too long. All the cars coming into position now, with Colin on pole. He will come away with a victory here at the end of the next 36 laps. This is round 15, the last race of the season, and perhaps the last chance for some of these guys to prove themselves. They've got what it takes to compete in the C1 category of the CDR. There are Scotty and Elite Hound taking up their positions, and we are ready to go. So we'll wait for those 5 red lights to appear. When they go out, the cars will roar. So the revs rise, the 5 red lights come on. When they go out, it's racing at Interlagos. It's lights out and away we go. Colin gets off to a good start, as does Romans Republic. But watch out for MDG, who dives to the inside of both Romans Republic and Phelan. So MDG up into second place in the Haas, although Phelan gets in front, coming out to the curve of the Sol. So Colin leads ahead of Phelan. It's MDG, Romans Republic in 4th place. Hamster and Martin are next, followed by Reservai, Rabico, Red Dog, and Stephen, who's made up great ground from a few positions back up into the top 10. Hamza forced off track there by Romans Republic and Martin, but he's able to fight back. Hamza up to 5th, ahead of the Alfa Romeo. And it seems as though everyone has got through the first few corners unscathed. There's Cami, though, down at the back. Not sure what happened to him, because he was in the top 10 on the grid. And now he's falling down the order. But Colin doing very well at the moment. And so the field come through Yonsao now for the first time in this race. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of this one, but with the field as it is, I'd expect to be a lot of entertainment. Hopefully no crashes, no incidents whatsoever, just some brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing. And Cynix is in the pits for Alpine, so it's been a disastrous lap 1 for the Alpine squad. Cynix into the pits. He was one of those knocked out in Q2. Hasn't got any better for him in the race so far. So he's already pretty much out of sync with these guys. Cynix going on to another set of the soft compound. He started the race on the medium, so he could technically go to the end of the race on the soft compound, but he will not go to the end of the race on those. So the chances are soft compound tyres later on. He's back on track now, albeit in last place. So Phelan right behind Colin. Now there are 2 DRS zones on this track. One on the pit straight, and the other in between turns 3 and 4, otherwise known as the retro apposta back straight. And so Phelan, who remember is on the soft compound tyres, Colin is on the mediums, so Phelan should have the tyre advantage at this stage. Won't want to be cutting across the curbs like that. that could award you a warning, followed by a time penalty. Elite Hound in the pits also for Mercedes. He's got front wing damage to his car. So Phelan behind Colin as they come through Ferradura. Now young cow they come. So Colin holding off Phelan at the moment. Phelan does have DRS though. So could we see a change of position now? We could do here as they go into turn one. Phelan thought about a move but wisely ducks back in behind Colin. He may have a chance on the Retro Aposta with DRS. To the inside, and Phelan goes through into the race lead. So Colin decides to let the Mercedes go. That was the only change of position during all that. And now MDG closing up behind. And now there's a long queue of cars which will for sure begin to build up as Phelan is the man at the head of this queue. Cammy gets ahead of Jay Hartnell for 17th place, doing so at Ferradura. No time penalties yet, but it's likely that we will see some drivers picking up them. Rear wing open on MDG's car. Colin's not close enough to make a move. Can MDG decide to go for it? And there's Colin, still within a second of the Mercedes. It's good to see the cars so close to each other. Now we expect the... Oh, is that Phelan falling down the order? Yes, it is. He's had a spin. Phelan has spun from the race lead at Magulio and has dropped down to what is now 9th position. That's a terrible mistake there. He must have caught the curbs. And now he's falling further down the order behind Red Dog now. There's Charlie on the inside as Scotty looks to try and make his way through from the back. Side by side with the Williams of Bruges. There's Armin in there as well. Can Bruges get back through on Scotty? The answer is no. He needs to watch for his teammate though of Armin. Charlie waiting to pounce. We'll go back to the leaders as they come through. Perigno. And now the Bica de Pato. Charlie ahead of Bruges for 14th place, so Bruges also going backwards. And MDG will have the DRS on the pit straight this time. How close will he be to having a go on the Red Bull? It's probably too far back to do it from there, but let's see. So MDG behind the Red Bull. Armin gets ahead of Scotty now for 12th place. As the field come towards Decida de Largo. Phelan getting back ahead of Red Dog now for 9th place. He'll be ruining that mistake And this is Reservoir, who's on the tail of Rabico, whose soft tyres will be beginning to fall away by this point. I think Reservoir must have exceeded track limits there, so that'll be a warning for him. It's an anti-clockwise circuit is Interlagos. Circuit that was first built back in 1938. Didn't host a Grand Prix until the early 1970s. Let's watch for MDG with the rear wing open on the inside of Colin before they get to turn one. And so we have another new race leader of MDG taking the race lead away from Colin. Phelan into the pits. He thinks the undercut will be the way to go if he is to get ahead of a lot of these guys. So Rabico still holding on to 6th place ahead of Reservoir. Stephen in there as well. There is Red Dog and Noodles going side by side. Coming through turns 6 and 7. Noodles able to get past around the outside. He goes off track though. So I wonder if he'll pick up a warning for that. Sinex is now the first driver by lap 8 to receive a time penalty, and he's gone for a spin at the Curva de Sol. So, and is that Noodles dropping back as well? He must have had a moment, because he's just allowed Scotty and Charlie to make their way through. So he's feeling down in 18th place, but how soon will it be before the pit window opens? Colin nearly trying to make his way back through on MDG. Or nearly making his way through. There's Hamza in the Ferrari. Rear wing open. Hamza diving to the inside. Rose Republic still there. Takes to the curb a little bit. I think he should hold on to 3rd place here ahead of Hamza and behind Colin. Incident in sector 3. That'll be Elite Hound, who's gone for a spin at Young Cow. And he faces the wrong way. So Colin still behind the Haas driver. All 20 drivers still running at the moment. And look at Romans Republic diving to the inside of Colin, in fact. So Romans Republic through into 2nd place. We'll have DRS is still within a second of MDG in front. I wonder who's going to be ducking into the pits first out of all these guys. It won't be Colin because he's on the mediums. So answers on a postcard. Armin ahead of Red Dog now. So Armin making his way through the field nicely. And someone's off in sector 1. That is Phelan at the Curva de Sol. His race has come to an end and the safety car has been deployed. Now this will play into the hands of all those on the soft compound. So Phelan's poor race has ended in the barriers coming out of turn 2 and at the beginning of turn 3. Now Colin and Reservoir may be reluctant to go onto the hard compound site, and Sinex gets a drive for exceeding the safety car delta. Pretty much everyone is coming in. Now, is there actually anyone deciding to stay out? Doesn't look as though. Charlie trying to get ahead of Red Dog if they go side by side. Now, you're not supposed to overtake onto the safety car. Well, Charlie's punishment is that he's been speeding, so I don't really understand why he was trying to do that. Jay Hartnell has decided to stay out. MDG will retain his lead, no problem, as they catch up to the safety car now. Sinex coming into the pits to change tyres. Now Elite Hound's just trying to get himself back up to the pack. I think the safety car will remain out there for 2 more laps. Now Elite Hound will hope that he'll be back out onto the racetrack before the safety car is coming round. He won't have too long, but he should still remain ahead. This is his second stop of the race as well. The mediums go on for him. So your top 10 at the moment is that MDG leads. Jay Hartnell, who is out of sync with the leaders, who's yet to stop in second place. Romans Republic third. Colin fourth, ahead of Martin, Reservi, Hamster, Stephen, Armin and Ravico, rounding out your top 10. Some of which are on the hard compound, others on softs. Now I think Colin is going to be switching to a 2-stop strategy because I doubt he'll go to the end of the race on the soft compounds. He'll be lightning quick on the restart. That's not a question at all. So MDG running in P1. And Elite Hound's just going steadily around. He wants to be catching up to these guys before the restart gets underway. Although the safe car may decide to duck into the pits at the end of this lap. So Elite Hound has not caught up to the field yet, so the safe car will go around for 1 more lap. So MDG in prime position to win this race now, I would think. So if you have just joined us, we do welcome you. Do make sure you get involved in the live chat, like and subscribe. Phelan, the only driver out of this race, crashing out at turn 3, hence why we're under the safety car. So the safety car coming in this lap. Only 2 drivers with time penalties at the moment. Charlie's one of them for speeding in the pit lane. It's likely that he'll be pitting in again before this race is over. Also for Sinex, who's got a drive-through penalty that he needs to take. He's also got a time penalty for track limits as well. So MDG ready to go for the restart. No, he hasn't gone yet, but he has now. So MDG leads on the restart. As Silence ducks into the pits to take his drive through, you can see a few squabbling going on behind. Reservoir and Rabico fighting over fourth place. Someone's gone off at turn one, and it's Stephen in the Aston Martin. That's a big shame because it was running well up to that point. Just look to see further behind to see if there's any changes. It doesn't look as though there is. Sinex exits the pit lane after that drive through. Oh, and Cammy's out of the race. Oh, there's a big accident involving him and Rabico. Not sure how that happened. Unbelievably, Rabico has kept going. He's reset to track, so the stewards may punish him for that. He's already been in trouble for that this season, actually, in Austin, if you remember. So there'll be another penalty coming his way post-race. Front wing gone, and he's fallen to the back of the field. But Cammy's race has ended in the wall. We'll go back to the front because there's going to be plenty of change here as Romans Republic lines up a move on Jay Hartnell into turn one. He goes for it down the inside and he's through into P2. Well done there, Romans Republic. As Colin I should say, going past in the Red Bull. So Rabico into the pits for Red Bull. Sinex coming in as well. Has he got damage? He must have done. So both of them on the back foot. Rabico most especially. And now Martin gets a penalty for track limits. 3 seconds it is. Hamster thinking about a move on Jay Hartnell, who's dropping back like a stone now. He was in second place a lap ago, now he's in fifth place. Oh, and that's Hamster nearly dropping it. Martin goes through ahead of him, and it looks like Scotty may fancy his chances of getting past. DRS enabled now. As Colin gets past Romans Republic for second place in the Red Bull. On the soft compound, remember. Question mark whether he'll go to the end of the race on those tyres. I think he may have to if he's going to want to. If he wants to win this one. Scotty in the McLaren. As Martin lines up a move on his teammate and he goes through ahead of him. Hamster trying to get past us to Scotty. Charlie's in the wall though and he's out of the race. Well, that's a big way as well. Could that bring out a safety car with him stranded there? That would come to Rabico and Sinex's rescue. No safety car at the moment, so we carry on as we are. Rear wing will be open on Reservoir's car, but so will Romans Republic. He's also got the rear wing open. As we watch Hamster line up a move on Jay Hartnell for 6th place, and he goes through. Very nicely done there from Hamster. Scotty also fancying to get through, and he does get through. Red Dog as well, so Jay Hartnell, he really is struggling right now. And now Armin is the next one, potentially going to be sending him down the order. So Colin right on MDG's tail in the battle for the lead. And Jay Hartnell's dropped down the order now. He's lost a few positions, actually. Front wing gone. And Rabico's out of the race for Red Bull in the pits and goes no further. So he must have made a mistake there. And Elite Hound is also off the track. Front wing gone from his car. So this could be enough to bring out a virtual safety car, to be honest with you. As Colin still having a go at MDG for the lead. There's the rest of Aposta, they can get moved on. Rear wing open. Is this him going through to the inside? Thought about it, but stays behind. Versify on the soft compound closing in as Hamster gets past Martin for 5th place. Stephen picks up a penalty for track limits. So Hamster holding on. Now Colin needs to get this moved on as soon as he can here. He's losing a lot of time. It looks like Stephen has gone for a spin again, and the Aston Martin has continued. Hartnell and Elite Hound exit the pits in 14th and 15th places. And now we see Colin going to the inside low. MDG just leaves the door open completely. He knows he's going to be passed. And Colin is back through again with the second half of the race still to go. We're on lap 19 out of 36. And someone's gone off in sector 2. Is that Stephen again? I think it is. So we carry on as we are. Yeah, I think he might have damage to his car probably. He's carried on. And looks like Noodles has been passed by Arman here. And Stephen has made it back to the pits for a new front wing. So he'll fall to last place most certainly. Jones Republic with the rear wing open. Oh, is that Hartnell going for a spin there? Not quite. He's running in 13th place. As Jones Republic almost trying to have a go on MDG. They could be back in play for the victory later on, should Colin's tyres start to fade. But he's going to drop back a hell of a lot though. Rear wing open, MDG going defensive, Rose Republic to the inside, and he'll go past no problem into P2. So Rose Republic through. There's a fight, waiting for his chance, but he's got a time penalty now for track limits. It's 3 seconds, which would not be enough to see him drop a position. Scotty going past Red Dog here now. Oh, there's contact! He should have moved earlier, to be honest with you, Scotty, but he's got damage to his car now, so yeah, you can see he's struggling to turn into the corner, so he should have just moved earlier, to be honest with you. That's not Red Dog's fault. Needles behind the 2 Williams cars in the fight over 9th place. Rose Republic in P2, MDG right behind. Bruges now with a time penalty for track limits. And Arman getting ahead of his teammate. Nils trying to get through as well, but he doesn't do so. There's Emil, who we've not spoken about too much during today, running in a fine 12th position. Red Dog gets past Martin for 6th place. Martin does have that penalty hanging over him as well. Now we see Synix and Stephen closing up behind Elite Hound, who's holding these up. These are quicker drivers as well, so I think these two will get by the Mercedes very, very easily. Stephen down to the inside of Synix, who leaves him enough space. Oh, they make contact though. Stephen still there. He's not quite alongside to go through. Now we see MDG behind the Aston Martin of Romans Republic. They come towards turn 4, otherwise known as the Cedar Largo. So Collins' lead is nearly 3 seconds now. If he was to pit, he would rejoin down in 12th. And now we watch Synix make a move on Elite Hound for 14th position. To the inside, and Synix is through. Is he into 14th position? He is now. Elite Hound runs wide, and Stephen should go through as well. But Elite Hound cuts across on him a bit too late, so it was a little bit naughty that from Elite Hound. Stephen won't like that one bit. Oh, and the Elite Hound goes across. He nearly took out the Alpine there. He was very, very lucky to avoid that. Otherwise, that would have been a very, very nasty incident. So Collins coming up behind the Mercedes now to lap him. Now can MDG get past Romans Republic as Elite Hound goes off track and resets back onto it. That's a penalty, I'm afraid. It's forbidden in the CDR as the resets track tool. And Reservoir into the pits for McLaren. Now where will he rejoin? It looks like one of the AlphaTauris is coming in. That is Red Dog. And Scotty's in as well, so Scotty's going to be maybe somewhat delayed here, but it might be alright. And Elite Hound decides to call it a day, so that's him out of the race. So Reservoir rejoins ahead of Emil in 9th position. Come out on a set of mediums this time there with Red Dog and Scotty. And that's one of the Alpines going for a spin. That's Synix who's down the order. Hartnell into the pits, but too quickly. 5 seconds time penalty to be added. Now Reservoir should go like clockwork here and get past some of these guys. He's got that penalty of 3 seconds hanging over him as well. Collins in. So Colin, the race leader, into the pits. Another set of soft tyres go on. He'll be behind Martin. But can he get out in front of Bruges? I think he can. Yeah, I think he's done enough here as Colin to retain 5th position. So he's left himself with not too much to do, but he's got 11 laps to rescue his race. At the moment, in terms of the gap to the leaders, it's 14 seconds between himself and Romans Republic, who's now ahead of everyone. Reservoir getting in front of Noodles for 8th place. He's on a charge on those fresh tyres. There's 2 Williams cars ahead of him, which he's got next to dispose of. So Arman still behind his teammate. And look at MDG going for the lead there, look, on Romans Republic. Into the CDR. Romans Republic stays ahead for now, but MDG is still there, but he picks up a time penalty. A time penalty for MDG for track limits. So that's compromised his chances of going for the victory now. He gets ahead. Romans Republic knows the situation and remains behind him. Reservoir ahead of both Williams cars now. He's on fire at the moment. Blistering times he's posting. And Scotty's out of the race, so the champion this season is out, as is Stephen. Both have binned it. Both are out of the race, and that is surely going to bring out a safety car. Yes, it has done. Well, Scotty retired in the pit lane. Stephen just dropped it. Now there is Jay Hartnell. Now what are the leaders going to do here then? Martin's picked up a drive-through penalty for exceeding the safety car delta. So that's a bad dent to his chances of going for the race victory. Jay Hartnell remains out there because he can get back onto the lead lap. Sinex is too far behind to get back onto the lead lap, so I'd expect MDG and Romans Republic to get out ahead of him. Martin also in. Colin stays out, unsurprisingly. Reservoir will stay out as well. And Martin into the pits, out of the race. So he feels that is enough for him. So now we're down to just what I believe now is 12 runners in this Grand Prix. MDG rejoins in 3rd place, Romans Republic 4th, Jay Humson now 5th. Red Dog has decided to stay out on his mediums. He's exceeded track limits there, so that's a time penalty unfortunately for him. Bruges, Armin, Noodles and Emil also in for tyres. Jay Hartnell staying out there. So he could well have a 7 or 8 lap sprint to the flag. So Hartnell also coming in. He's got some of his time points which he can serve as well, so he needs to get out before the field gets round. We're coming into Youngcow now. Jay Hartnell stops in his box. Soft tyres go on and out he goes. So there is Sinex, who's a lap down in 13th at the moment, which will become 12th. So Collins there in the race lead, but he's on older tyres, as is Reservoir, who's on 3 lap old softs. MDG, Romans Republic, Hamster and Red Dog, well, it's, apart from Red Dog I should say, who's still on the mediums, he's going to be vulnerable on the restart, no question. So we're under safety car conditions after an accident involving Stephen, who crashed out on the exit of Pico de Pato. So we've lost 8 drivers from this race. It was fairly clean to begin with, but now we've just seen a few drivers pretty much lose in the plot. So the safety car's staying out for a 3rd lap, so it'll come in at the end of this lap no matter what. Now, there are drivers who have penalties to their names, including Reservoir and MDG, 3 seconds each for them. Now, MDG will want to get ahead of these guys and pull away to give himself the best chance of victory. So it'll be a 6-lap sprint to the end. The safety car in at the end of this lap, who will prevail by the end of the next 6 laps here. It's pretty much anyone's game. Colin needs to get the best of restarts done here to keep hold of track position. It looks like he's caught the field napping a little bit. We are back on the way here in Sao Paulo. Colin leads for Red Bull. Is there anyone making a move? There is someone going to the inside. That's Armin off the racetrack in the Williams. Gets back out on track. We just want to see who is back in the pole position at the moment. Armin still tussling with Jay Hartnell as they go into Desida de Largo. And we make contact there. And that's Sinex going off the racetrack. I think it's just staying out of everyone's way, to be honest with you. There's MDG closing behind these guys. As it stands, he will be finishing in 5th. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart as we watch Bruges and Red Dog go toe to toe with each other. Bruges on the outside. Red Dog's still there, but Bruges gets past. So Bruges up to 6th place now, ahead of the AlphaTauri. And now Noodle's looking to get the job done here. Sinex is into the pits, and he's also calling it today. So that's another one gone. Oh, and Red Dog cutting across on his teammate as Emil looks to get through as well, as does Armin, who looks to recover after that earlier excursion. So not long to go now, as you can see Reservoir running wide there before he gets to Young Cow. Can MDG get into the slipstream here? Reservoir's got a little bit of ERS left in store than him. The DRS has now been enabled. Colin still going, still in the race lead, looking on course to achieve just that. There's Red Dog under threat here from his teammate who goes through. So Noodles is past Red Dog. Emil in 9th. Can he make a move around the outside? Oh, and Red Dog doesn't leave enough room. Arman able to get through as well into 9th position, but he picks up a time penalty for track limits. So that could see him fall down a couple of positions by the end of this one. MDG behind Reservoir. Trying to get the power down as soon as he can. So as it stands, the order by the end of this one will be Colin ahead of Romans Republic and Hamster. They're all nose to tail right now with 3 laps to go. Noodles behind Bruges for 6th, and he gets past, no problem. Very well done to him. So he's through. So we seem to have a field of 2 halves at the moment. We've got the top 5 tussling amongst themselves. The other 6 tussle amongst those for 6th position. Colin looking very good as MDG needs to get through ahead of Reservoir for 2nd place. He's on better tyres than Reservoir. He's just not able to use that to his advantage and get through. Hamster behind Romans Republic as well. Now if Colin gets a penalty here, that could hand victory to Romans Republic, and Jay Hamster would be 2nd. And so that Emil is finally through on Red Dog. Now can Hartnell get in front as well? Hartnell to the inside. Red Dog goes for it. Too deep there. Arman is now ahead of his teammate Bruges in the fight for 7th, which will become 8th because they have penalties to their names. Emil doesn't. So Emil could be 7th on debut in the C1 category in the CDR. Oh, Reservoir nearly losing it coming out of Pico de Pato, almost doing what Stephen did earlier. He's kept it going this time. No, MDG has he fallen out of DRS range? I don't think he has. So, oh yes he has. So MDG will have the DRS behind the McLaren. He's got to really go for it now. But he's ran out of his ERS, so this is going to be painful for MDG, most certainly. He'll only lose 2 positions as it stands, but he did hope for more than what he's going to get by the end of this one. So Colin on his last lap, on course to take victory. It was looking unlikely before the last safety car came out, which played into his hands. Able to get track position once those decided to come into the pits to get new tyres on. He's kept the lead since. So through Magulio for the last time, then the left-hander of Young Cow. And he's got 2 left kinks before he crosses over the line. So Colin, up the hill he goes, and he's going to end Season 2 in the CDR on a high. Colin, in the Red Bull, wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix at Interlagos. Over the line, it's going to be Romans Republic taking 2nd, with Hamster 3rd. MDG will be 4th for Haas, ahead of Reservoir 5th. Noodles will be 6th, ahead of Emil, Arman, Bruges, Jay Hartnell, and Red Dog. So there you can see your drivers on the podium. Colin picking up his trophy with Romans Republic next to him, as well as Hamster, who's done very well to get there, it has to be said. Great qualifying performance. and even better in the race. So Colin wins the race from pole position, had Rome's Republic in second, Hamster third, MDG fourth, and Reservoir fifth, Noodle sixth, Emil seventh, Armin eighth, Bridge ninth, and Jay Hartnell 10th. Red Dog was the last that finishes in 11th. Cynix out before the race ended. Martin likewise. Scotty also didn't finish. Stephen crashed out. Elite Hound didn't finish. Rabico, Charlie, Cami, and Phelan were also the rest of those that did not finish. So at the end, well, it's been a brilliant, brilliant season. Scotty, crowned champion by a margin of 14 points over MDG. He clinched the championship last time out in Mexico City anyway, and he's won the championship in a fine, fine way. Well, that's all from us, and we hope to see you again next season for more brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing like what we've just seen today. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the CDR returns.